Yeah. Oh, we should have probably put like a trigger warning in this. I'm gonna be talking about death and blood and guts and serial killers. Hey everyone, welcome back to Two Nerds in a Podcast. I'm very excited about this episode today because we're talking about the one, the only haunted museum, Zak Bagans' Haunted Museum. So I went over the weekend, and that is probably one of the craziest places I think I've ever been to. It's
Really?
it's insane. Like the amount of stuff they have there. So it's 12,000 square feet.
That's crazy. Because it's like in a
Yeah.
residential neighborhood,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so the I think the original part of the museum, I could be wrong about this, but the is it was a house, like an actual house that somebody lived in that's supposedly haunted. So Zach Bagans
Mm.
bought that house and then turned it into the museum, and then I guess there's just like
Just kept
add-ons.
adding
But
and adding and adding.
yeah, I okay, so before I get into all the actual stuff. So it's 12,000 square feet, and it took us it's like a you're there for like 3 hours. Like our
Wow.
thing started at 2. We didn't go in until about like 2:30 cuz I mean it was Memorial Day weekend, so it was like a little bit busier.
Hmm.
Um but like yeah, we didn't get out of there till like 5,
That's a
and my
long
legs
day.
hurt. Yeah, my legs hurt so bad. You couldn't have your cell phone on the entire time. Um I couldn't vape. I was like, I'm gonna
Oh
die.
no,
I'm gonna
Kate's gonna
die.
die.
But yeah, it was. So I'm gonna break this up into like two segments because I feel like
Hmm.
it would be easier for me personally, like my brain.
Hmm.
Um, because they do a lot. So there's like the haunted aspect of it, and then they have like true crime stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, so you get to see like a little bit of everything, and I went with other Jamie. We got the VIP upgrade thing. So
Ooh, fancy.
y- yeah, so you get to go I think through oh yeah, you get to go through all 33 rooms. Yeah, 33.
Dang.
Whereas I think with the regular you only get to go to like 25, I believe. I don't really know. But
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
yeah, it's not too bad. It's just honestly, like I'm glad we got to do the VIP stuff because like some of the rooms that like the VIPs went into were like crazy. So like the first part was like this like that we got to go into was like this doll closet,
Oh,
and then
no,
they had
no.
like a locked up doll that like
No.
is very
N-
active apparently.
No, no.
And then as you exit the doll room, then you pass by two real human skeletons.
Excellent.
And then you go into the exorcist room.
Oh.
It's so
You
crazy.
go from dolls to the
Um
exorcist room? No.
Yeah.
No.
And then they have like so for the VIPs, like after you go through the exorcist like room, the VIPs have the option to crawl through there's like a little tunnel that leads to the other room.
Oh, good
And
lord.
apparent like and oh, they said that like all of the like energy is like channeled in that tunnel,
Oh.
right? And it's also dark. We crawled through it cuz like why not?
Well, yeah.
but it
That's kind of the
but
point.
it's like pitch black, and I'm like I can't see what I'm doing. I didn't know I was going to be crawling around like I'm wearing a skirt.
Oh, yeah. Now, for you as a tall person, was it like really claustrophobic or is there like enough room for you to still kind of like move freely?
Yeah, there's pretty good space, and it's not like a super long tunnel, so it's not like it's like that long. It's like a few
Mhm.
turns and then you're in the next room, but it's like crazy. I'm like I didn't know I was going to be on the floor at this museum.
Yeah, they should warn you like if you buy the VIP ticket that you may be crawling
Yeah.
through small spaces.
But yeah, it's crazy. So I'll start with what should I start with? I'll start with the true crime stuff cuz that shit was like crazy. Like some of the stuff they had there, Jimmy, was like mind-blowing. I was literally like they have like a whole room of like serial killers. Um
Oh. Like all
yeah,
kinds of serial killers or just famous serial killers?
Mostly just like famous ones. I mean, there was like a couple that I haven't heard of, but they had like, so they had stuff from Ted Bundy, like they had his glasses
Oh.
there and
Ooh.
like the ice pick he used.
Oh, no, no.
Yeah, like some of the stuff they have there, that's why I'm like, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Um, John Wayne Gacy, do you know who that is?
I don't.
Oh, Jamie, what the heck?
Listen,
So
you
he
are the true crime junkie. I am the supernatural TV junkie, okay?
okay. That's true. That's true. Uh, so John Wayne Gacy was like a like a clown, like he was a children's clown,
Mm-hmm.
and he would like murder like young boys.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. So they had like, and he like, it was like the creepiest thing. So they had like paintings that he painted,
Oh, ooh,
like actually painted and like signed, and like all of that was there, like a note that he had, like this, the amount of stuff that they had there was like insane. Like they had like a bunch of stuff from Charles Manson, like they had a lock of his hair,
oh. Okay,
and I
that's
was like,
weird.
I don't like that. Like, yeah, some of the stuff they have there, and I'm like, why?
Here's the thing, if you keep people's hair according to supernatural, you can keep their ghost alive. So you gotta burn, because, like, if you want the evil spirit and the ghost to go away, you have to burn every last bit of their body. So the fact that people are keeping locks of hair out there, that's no good. That's bad juju.
Yeah, well,
Don't
I
do
mean
that.
that museum is terrifying. It's very scary. But yeah, and then they have like, so that they have like a whole room of serial killers. You walk through there. Um, they had Ed Gein stuff, which that one was like crazy. Jamie like hated that room. Ed Gein is a serial killer. I don't remember where he's from. Wisconsin, maybe? Don't quote me on that. But he is the inspiration behind the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, we should have probably put like a trigger warning in this. I'm gonna be talking about
Yeah.
death and blood and guts and serial
Murder.
killers. I
Yeah.
think if you maybe if you haven't gotten that this far,
Yeah, yeah.
I should have put
Well,
this in the beginning, but that's okay.
that's
Um
okay. I'll move it to the beginning and post. It's fine. But honestly, if you're gonna click on an episode titled something along the haunted museum, you should probably realize what it's gonna be about.
yeah, it's not a very lighthearted.
Yeah. This is not happy go lucky like the last episode we did, which was Bridgerton, okay?
Yeah.
This is
So,
our
I'm sorry.
180 from that.
Like complete 180.
We give you variety, okay?
Yeah. You get a
No
little bit of
interest, just too
everything.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't complain, all right? um But yeah, so like the Ed Gein room, like he's the inspiration behind Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
So did he actually like skin people and
Yeah,
all and yeah, yeah, okay.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
ugh.
And they like he would make like skin suits. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But they had like the colander that he used to like, so he would
Oh.
like hang bodies above it and let the blood drain into this colander.
Yeah.
And they had it there. And I was like, that's
Mm.
absolutely wild. Like I was like like Jamie was like, I hate this room, and I was like mind blown. I was like, that's so, I'm like, that's insane, because like if you are into true crime, like you know who all these people are, and you're like, that's fucking wild that this stuff is here.
It's like seeing movie props like in real
Mhm.
life because you're
Yeah.
like, oh my god, this actor touched this prop or
Yeah.
whatever, right? But it's just on a creepier scale than
Yeah, it's on a scare,
movie
and you're
props.
like,
Most of the time.
yeah.
Sometimes movie props can be real scary.
Yeah. That's true. They can be. Oh, they had like a dead celebrity like hall,
Mm-hmm.
which was pretty cool. So they had like Michael Jackson's like chair there that
Oh,
he used to like
interesting.
get ready in. It had like makeup stains on it still.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff they have there, I'm like, this is crazy. They had a piece, so I get, so they had a piece of James Dean's car, the one that killed him.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only like a piece because I guess when the original car got destroyed, they like scrapped it for parts. And like basically like rebuilt it into another car, and that car, I don't remember exactly what happened, but basically they just only have like this one piece of like the car, which is like crazy. Because you're like, that's
Wow.
like,
Yeah.
it's crazy because it's like, even though it's like creepy as shit, it's like part of history, you know? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Even though like some of it's
Yeah,
not good
for
history,
sure.
like everybody knows who Ted Bundy is. That is history, but not good
Yeah.
history. It's just history of serial killers.
Yeah, well, it's just like when museums have stuff from like
Right.
Nazi Germany and things like that. Like, it's not history that like anybody's going to be proud of, but it's still, you still have to realize that it happened and that there's things that have survived from whatever that
Yeah.
era of time
Yeah, it's
is.
wild. Like some of the stuff there they had was like I was just like in like my jaw was like to the ground half of this time. Like with the stuff that they have there. They had a so there's a he was a serial killer called Dr. Death. Do you know who that is? You don't,
Mm-hmm.
do you?
It sounds
So
familiar. I feel like once you tell me what he
yeah,
did,
so
it'll
he was a
click.
doctor that assisted in or that did assisted, I don't know if I can say suicide, unaliving, assisted unaliving. Um so basically if somebody was like, I don't want to live anymore, he'd be like, I can help you with that. And then he would kill them.
It's like, I
Yeah.
got you, fam.
Um and they had it was like the craziest. I was like, what the hell? They had his van, like his actual van that he would perform the stuff in, like
Oh.
perform these like assisted suicides
Oh
in,
my
yeah.
gosh.
And like it was, oh, that like gave me the chills because in the video they showed like pictures of the van back in the day and it had like the dents in it and like when you see it, it's just like, ooh,
Yeah.
man, oh man.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
some like
creepy.
it's
I mean, it's cool, but like
yeah, it's
super
very creepy,
creepy.
but it's definitely really cool. If you're like into that stuff, I highly recommend going and seeing it. Um I loved it. Every part of it. They did have like a lot of true crime stuff, but like the craziest part is like the haunted stuff. Like that stuff was, whew, some of that stuff I'm like, I don't like that at all. Like the craziest thing was they had this, it's called a Dybbuk box, and it's used to like from what
Oh,
I from what
yeah.
I gained, it's used for like catching bad spirits. So the one that
Mm-hmm.
Zak Bagans
Mm-hmm.
has is supposed to be like the most haunted thing in the world. And
Of
now I don't know
course.
if they do it like, if I don't know if they even can like change the way like like air pressure works in rooms, but like at the second I walked into that room, I just felt like this heavy like like it, like the air was just heavy. I just
Mm-hmm.
couldn't, I felt like I was like gasping for breaths. And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't like the way that this room is making me feel.
Okay, I have a question for you before
Yes.
we continue. Are you like a believer in the supernatural, as in like the supernatural,
Not the
not
show.
Supernatural, the TV show?
The TV
Because we're
show.
all a believer in the show.
um, yeah, I believe in it. I think that enough people, I mean, like, granted, I think people can make stuff up, but I do believe that
Oh, for sure.
that it exists. I believe that sometimes, like, people get stuck in between, whatever the case may be. I believe in
Mm-hmm.
it. Whereas, like, other Jamie was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm like, no, no, I don't
Okay.
fuck around with that stuff. Like, it's so creepy. Like, there was
Yeah.
one room with this, like,
You're the one smart white person out
sometimes,
there.
sometimes. But
In
yeah,
this instance, when it comes to the supernatural, Casey is
yeah, I find it
smart.
very fascinating and
Oh, yeah.
like in my head I'm always like, man, I want to, like, there was like one thing there that was like, if you touch it it'll give you nightmares, or you know, it'll like attack your dreams, and I'm like, I want to touch it. I want to touch
Mm.
it. Like, you telling me not to touch it makes me want to touch it. You should have just like, you can't touch anything anyways, but you should have told me, like, you shouldn't have told me that,
You shouldn't have, like, you
because
should,
now I want
yeah,
to touch it.
yeah.
um but they had this doll, and it's like, I guess like the equivalent of like the Annabelle doll. Her name is
Mm-hmm.
Peggy,
Dang
okay?
it,
She's
Peggy.
locked up in a box, and they
Excellent.
have a spirit box, like, I don't even know what the term is, where it, like, channels through it's, like, static, but, like, if it gets energy put into it, it'll, like, pick up
Mm-hmm.
words and stuff, kinda like a radio. Um,
Mm. Yeah.
but they were like, "You have to say hello and goodbye to her. Like, you cannot leave without saying goodbye to her." And I was like, Bye, Peggy. Goodbye. Goodbye. You have a good day.
Yeah.
You are beautiful. I love you. Please do not come possess me."
Yeah. Hello and goodbyes with all
Yeah,
the affirmations she could ever
absolutely. I was
want.
like, "Peggy, you
Now,
crazy."
what kind of doll is she? Because I was astounded when I found out the doll that Annabelle is based off of is a freaking Raggedy
Yeah.
Ann doll. The cutest little doll that you could think of, and that's Annabelle. And I was like, what? Excuse me?
So this one is
Absolutely
real
not.
creepy. Let me send you a picture of it.
Is it like a porcelain doll kind of
It's kind of like
situation?
she kind of looks like an American Girl doll type of thing. She's got
Oh
like short
no.
blonde hair.
I love American
Let
Girl
me see. Let me send
dolls.
it to you. And she's like locked up in this box. They're like, we don't let her out. Yeah, you can see
Can
her.
you
Yeah, I sent
see
you.
her? Oh yeah, you can see her. Oh yeah, she's very much like an American Girl doll.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah, the doll, like Jamie loves
weird.
dolls. But some of them I was like, I don't know. I don't really. There was one doll there. She was also locked up in a box. I think her name was Lily. I don't remember what her name was, but she
Mhm.
was very cute. I was like, "Oh, Lily's beautiful. I love her. I would take her home with me. She seems sweet."
Now, why is Peggy locked in a box? Like, do you know what happened? Like, what situation happened that they were like, the doll is possessed. She
Um,
needs to be locked away.
I can't remember the full story on Peggy, but I know that somebody owned her before.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I don't remember what exactly happened, but I know, like, it's something to do with her, like, if you look her in the eyes or something.
Oh.
It was like because they have like I don't remember the story. There also is a show on I think it's Max. It's called The
Mm-hmm.
Haunted Museum, and they have like full episodes about it. Because you only get to hear like a brief. You're only in the room for like 5 to 10 minutes at the most.
Do they like tour you through? Like, are you part of a group that
Mhm.
goes through?
Yeah. Yeah, so you get, like, in a
Ah, okay.
there's, like, 10 of you. I guess I should have explained that.
Well, I mean, like, I didn't know if like certain like if all the VIP stuff they toured you through and then let you just wander around the rest, or
Yeah, so
so.
basically you have, like, a tour guide through the entire thing, and, you go through all the rooms, and then, like, the VIP rooms will kinda come up as you go through, so, like, the group would go to the next room, and then we would go to our room and then follow them. So you're in, like, a pretty I would say, like, maybe, like, between, like, 8 and 10 people,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I don't remember what I was saying before that. I don't.
That's okay. We were talking about Peggy, but we can move along now.
Oh yeah. Bye Peg. Goodbye Peggy. We're done with
Bye,
you.
Peggy.
They had like a bunch of they had like a whole clown section.
Ew. Ugh.
Yeah. Because I guess one of the Ringling Brothers shows like a long time ago
Mm.
like burnt
Mm-hmm.
down.
Yes.
So like you kind of start in that room and then it just kind of progresses into like creepy shit, creepy clown shit. But you have to like walk through like a whole like hallway of clowns.
Ew.
Yeah.
Is it like paintings and dolls and like just like a mixture of stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of both. They had like it was like crazy because they had this gigantic like miniature carnival and like it's
Oh.
massive. Like it takes up like an entire room. Like it kind of sucks because like you only get to really spend like about 5 to 10 minutes, like I said, in each room. And
Yeah.
some rooms have so much stuff to look at, and
Yeah.
it's so hard to like absorb everything because there's just so it's such a big place that it's just whew, it's a lot. We got to do which was crazy. So like the I'm just gonna call it the like main part of the museum because I don't really know,
Mm-hmm.
but the house part of the museum, um, was supposedly back in like the 70s was used for like satanic rituals.
Nice.
So the VIPs got to go down in the basement.
Oh no. No,
Yeah,
no.
which was terrifying because the basement is like every fucking haunted movie you've ever seen where you're like, don't
Mm-hmm.
go in the basement, is that
It's that
basement.
basement.
Yeah.
Oh. Mm-mm.
Yeah, like it like concrete like dungeon like walls and then it's like a hallway into
And
like
it
the main part of the
smells
basement. Yeah.
musty and
Like every part
moist.
of like I know you probably haven't seen the what was it called? Barbarian, I think.
I
The
have not.
Barbarian. There's like so that movie just irritated me because they're like going into this creepy basement hall and I'm like, why would you do that? Meanwhile, I'm like, I'll go. I mean, it's part of the tour. I'll go. But yeah, we got to go in that, and then they also have like a spirit box there that you can talk to. I didn't ask it any questions because I was scared. Sorry, I'm just like yapping away. Holy
No,
guacamole!
you go right ahead.
I'm
Because
like,
here's the
I
thing.
literally have I've been doing this all week. Every person that gets near me, I'm like, I saw this also,
Yeah.
and it was
And
crazy,
this and
and
this.
this, yeah.
And then there was this. Yeah, see, the Haunted Museum, I feel like, look, those who know me in real life know I don't do scary. And those of you who've listened to the podcast long enough, you also know I really don't like. I've just now started to get into scary, but
Hmm.
haunted places have always intrigued me. I mean, my university was an old mental hospital, so of course I had to go
Hmm.
poke my nose around every single abandoned building to look into it. I looked into the past of the school. I love like learning because I've never experienced anything of the supernatural besides like,
The show.
well, besides the show. But I've never like had any like experiences like that. Like the closest supernatural quote unquote encounter I've ever had is just like people that I knew who have passed show up in my dreams occasionally. But like
Hmm.
that's about like as supernatural as it gets for me. And there's a ghost at work.
Yeah.
And she haunts my place of work. She doesn't really particularly give a rat's patoot about me, but my friend Tabitha and her daughter Brooke, which Brooke currently works with me, the ghost likes them too. So I don't know what it is about their family, but the ghost is like, you are the chosen one. I'm gonna bother you every night that you're working. Um, but like I've
Is it
never.
is it like a friendly ghost or is it like a pain in the ass ghost?
Most times she's a pain in the ass because she knocks stuff off the shelves.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Hmm.
homegirl, we just fixed that. Like, come
Please stop doing
on.
that. Yeah, they had one doll there that was like locked up because she throws stuff around.
Oh.
Like in the
I
doll
mean,
room.
fair. I would
You're like,
too if I
no,
was in a
you
doll
stop that.
room.
Yeah, it was so like the room with the box, like I was talking to the like employee and she was like, "Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like we don't nobody goes in there alone." She's
Oh,
like, "I'm terrified."
see,
She was like wearing a rosary and I was like, "Girl,
when
you
the
freaking me out a little bit."
employees tell you stuff like that, that's when you know, like, that's how I gauge, like, whether something could be truly real. Because, like, the example, like, I went to CSU Channel Islands. And I remember my professor, I think it was like my sophomore or junior year, he was telling us like all this like crazy stuff because his dad knew somebody who worked at the hospital when it was open.
Whoa.
And he was like, if you notice, in of course the art building where all of my classes were, he's like, if you ever notice, the night crew, they travel in pairs. Like there's never
Oh,
one person in the room by themselves. And that's because past employees have seen like ghosts and things have happened, and I'm like, bruh, like no way. So like they all the cleaning people at night, the custodians, travel in pairs. And I'm like, ooh.
yeah, that's how you know.
Yeah.
That's why you're like,
Yeah.
no thank you.
Yeah, and I remember, like, especially when we were doing our senior project, we were there, like, after school hours, like, because we'd take pictures of people's art, so they'd bring it into the studio and we'd photograph it. So we'd be there until, like, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and as we were leaving, like, it was 4 of us girls that were on this project together, we'd all leave together, we'd never leave anybody alone. We're like, "No, no, we will all
No,
be
no.
together, nothing will happen." But, ugh.
Yeah, like when I saw the employee wearing the rosary, I was like,
Yeah.
girl, they aren't messing around. Which
No.
makes sense because Zak Bagans is a freak. Love you, Zach. If you listen to this, I still want to marry you. Um,
Open
Corey, don't listen to
invitation.
this.
Yeah. Corey, it's fine. It's fine, Corey, there's,
um,
like, a slim chance.
yeah, like very slim.
Casey
Because
will
when I
sooner marry Zach Bagans if I marry Pedro Pascal, okay?
yeah. Yeah, like the time when I got super, super drunk and I messaged him like, "Oh my Zach, I love your show so much." Like as if he was gonna actually reply to me.
Yeah. That's okay. We all gotta do that
Uh,
at least once.
I'm like, man, I'm never drinking again. But they also had, I forgot about this. They had the dresser and the mirror from Al Capone.
Oh.
And the carpet, like his rug. Like we got to stand on like one of his rugs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and like I guess like I guess he died in his room from like a heart
Mhm.
attack, and I think he might have died on the rug, but like the mirror witnessed, like the death of him.
Yeah.
So like that was there. It's just crazy. Like some of the stuff they had there, they had like a which I was like, this is a little weird, but they had so there's like this really famous brothel,
Mhm.
and it's the one that like that basketball player, which I can never remember his name, like OD'd at. And it's called the
Oh.
yeah, it's called the Bunny Ranch, and I guess the
Mhm.
owner of it, there was like some spirit like possessing him and like following him, and they had the mattress that he died on.
Ooh.
Which I'm like, I don't like that because I don't know what else is on that mattress.
Yeah, and what
Because there
else
was like a
happened on that
stain.
mattress?
Yeah. They had the robe he died in.
See,
It
that's
just
kinda
like
cool.
yeah, that's cool. I was like, the mattress. I'm like, I don't like that
Yeah,
stain in the
anything
middle.
yeah, mattresses hold all of, like, your sweat and all
Other
your
body
skin
fluids.
flakes and other body fluids, and it's just they're really gross. Like, they're gross from just, like, normal like, when you're throwing your old mattress out because you got a new one, let alone if somebody died in it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I was like, that's
It's a bit
like
much.
some of the stuff I was like, I do not um love this, but I do find it interesting.
Mhm.
Like they had this one serial killer room, which is like a VIP only room. And that one really freaked me out. I had actually never heard of him, but his name was Robert Bordello,
Mhm.
something like that. He would kidnap and like torture and do all kinds of things to like men. Um
Oh.
like crazy shit. Like they had Polaroids that he took of these
Ew.
actual people
Yeah.
that he actually took. They had like 5 of them up there. They had like the sheets that he would like his that he killed people on. Yeah, like
Oh.
it was just crazy, and they had like he would like dip Q-tips in like bleach and then put it in
Mhm.
their eyes to try and blind them. They had those Q-tips there.
Oh my god.
It's
That's horrible.
like crazy. When I'm saying this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's like all types of crazy shit. Like they had, like a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Um and like some people, they showed like like in some of the rooms they had like videos of people that like passed out randomly
Oh.
in certain rooms. Like I guess like one person passed out I forgot. I don't remember where it was, but then she had like no recollection of where she was or how she got there. It's like she just like
Wow.
blacked out. Yeah, I'm like, that's the ghost.
Oh, for sure. And so I know you mentioned earlier that you had your cell phone off. They
Mhm.
make you turn your cell phone off, right?
Yes.
That's crazy. It must be, I would imagine, for supernatural reasons that they want your tech off. Plus, they don't want you. They want people to come and see, obviously. But the
Yeah.
supernatural tends to mess with technology, so that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and they're like, we will know if your phone's on. There's like cameras all over. So yeah, it's crazy. And like when the employees are like telling you stuff, I'm like, this is I would love to work here, but also I think I'd be terrified to work here.
Yeah, I feel like it would, like, definitely at first it would be super creepy. I imagine like
Mhm.
any job, you get used to it, but I feel like there's probably always tidbits of information that resurface and you're just like,
Mhm.
I didn't need to know that, but now I'm going to have nightmares for 3000
Yeah.
years. Or
Yeah, and
something
then like there's
happens.
yeah, and there's like this one room. Okay, so it was another VIP only room, and I don't remember the context of the room, but it was like a little it looked like a little dungeon, honestly. You like put your head through this window and it's like this brick like enclosure, like this concrete enclosure. I don't remember like the
Mhm.
context of it. But like they were saying that like a couple days ago or like a couple weeks ago, somebody saw a figure of a little like a random person saw a figure of a little girl running by.
Oh.
And like I do as soon as you put your head in there, it's like, oh, I don't want to be in here. I don't like the feeling of
Yeah.
this at all. Like some of the rooms I like literally got like goosebumps. I'm like, oof. Oh, scary. Um
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like, and there's so much. Like they have, like a mirror from the Titanic that's supposedly like a
That's
death
cool.
mirror.
That's
Yeah.
not so cool, but yeah.
They had like this chair that it's called like the Diablo chair, and like if you sit in it, it's like it possesses you or you get like possessed or something. I don't know. I'm not really good with
Oh.
remembering facts. But they had the chair like locked up, and you look at it behind like this podium, but then the VIPs can go like inside the podium a little closer to the
Oh.
chair. And Jamie was like, I was like, come on, Jamie. She's like, no, I'm good.
For
I was
the
like,
one
fair.
who's like, I don't believe in any of this, she's like, no, thank you.
She's like, I'm good, thank you. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun. There's a lot of things to look at. If I highly recommend everybody go, especially if you like true crime or ghost paranormal stuff, because I mean, obviously that's what it is.
Yeah.
Um, but just know that you will be walking for a long time.
Yeah, I
It's a
mean,
lot. It's a
like,
lot of walking.
if you're only spending like 5 to 10 minutes in each room, that's like 3 hours of straight walking.
Yeah, stay walking and standing. I was like, by the end of it, I was like, my back hurts. Okay.
And
My legs
crawling on the
hurt so
floor.
bad. Yeah. Yeah, and having to crawl on the floor, which nobody told me that. Nobody warned me.
So, what was your favorite thing that you saw?
Um, ooh.
Like, what was the one thing that creeped you out the most? Let's do
The
that one.
Dybbuk box. The Dybbuk
Mm,
box creeped
yeah.
me out the most. And I'm pretty sure, I think it was that room. You can leave like a blessing behind. They have like a whole, like a section. And you can leave whatever money, um, there was like guitar picks, jewelry, all kinds of stuff. I said, Jamie, give me a quarter. I'm leaving this here. I'm not. I'm not. They also had like a real life severed head.
Ew.
Yeah, it was in a box, and I was like, I don't. And they were like, don't look at it for too long because it gets antsy and it doesn't like that. And I was like, I'm not gonna look at it at all. Actually, I'm gonna take a peek at it, and then I'm gonna keep walking. But the Dybbuk box, I think, was the scariest thing just because of the way I felt in that room. And it was like only that room. Only that room, I felt like the air felt like I was, like, on the top of, like, Mount Everest, like, with the highest
Oh,
elevation. Like,
yeah.
I literally felt like I couldn't breathe. Like, it felt like somebody was, like, pushing on my chest, and it was only that room. And I
Oh.
was like, I don't know if, like, I'm just feeling this or, like, if it's somehow they can change, like, the atmosphere of the room. Like, I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I'm sure they can. I'm sure there's tricks to doing that. But still, just to only do it like you would think if they knew how to do it, they would do it in like multiple rooms, you know?
Yeah.
And not just
Yeah, so that's why I was
one.
like, yeah, because they have, like, right, like, Peggy is supposed to be, like, one of the most haunted dolls, right? But I didn't feel like that in that room. It was just the box, and then, like they had, like, a video of Zak Bagans, like, touching the box and him, like, blacking out and all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
And, yeah, so that one creeped me out the most. I did not like the way I felt in that room. Just, it just felt like somebody was, like, pushing on my chest.
That's so weird.
Yeah. I would say my other favorite part of the museum was the van because it's just the fact that it was like so I guess before Zach Bagans bought it, have you ever seen the show Hardcore Pawn?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had that van before Zach Bagans.
Oh.
I don't know if they sold it to him or how that happened, but Zach acquired it. Also just the fact that they have this this it looks like a little mini bus in
Yeah, it's like
just
a
in the
VW
house.
bus, right?
Yeah. Mhm. And it's like it was crazy because they have, like, you can see all the dents that are the same as the pictures from when the stuff happened. They had the original title signed by his name is Jack something, I can't remember his last name, but the original title that was, like, originally signed by him. Yeah, just crazy. Crazy stuff. Like, absolutely bananas, cuckoo bananas, as I like to say.
Yeah. Oh, it was Jack
Um,
Kevorkian.
Jack Kevorkian, yeah, I can never
Kevorkian.
remember.
Now that name I recognize because ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, so they had that van there. And then they have, like, a room with all of his, like, paintings and stuff, which was kinda creepy, but yeah, no, it's a blast, it's so fun, it's kinda cool because you, like, you're learning as you're doing it, as you're going. I think that if you like any sort of, like, spooky stuff or supernatural stuff, you should definitely go. Maybe not you, Jamie, yet, until we, like, we'll work our way up. We'll work
Yeah.
our way up.
I gotta watch all the
Um,
movies first and then we'll go.
yeah.
But it's weird because,
Um,
like, I've been to haunted, like, places and stuff. I still want to because I'm so mad because COVID ruined everything. I was
yeah.
actually supposed to go visit the Winchester House, which
Oh,
has
I wanna
nothing
go
to
there
do
so
with the.
bad.
Yes, because my BFF from college, Justine, lives up there. And so I was like, perfect. I'll come visit you for the weekend and then we'll go to the Winchester House. Because I think the history of the Winchester House is so interesting. And that, uh, if y'all don't know, Winchester is a famous gun maker, not the guys from
Mhm.
Supernatural, but the gun maker. And he and his wife were living in the San Jose area and they were building a house, but he died. And so his wife felt like all of the spirits from all of the people that died via a Winchester gun were haunting her. And so with this mania, she kept like firing her contractors for building this house, hired new ones, gave them like altered plans and stuff like that. So this house has stairs that lead to nowhere, half-size doors, corridors that lead to nowhere, like stuff just randomly walled off, like doors that open to a brick wall, like all these weird crazy things cuz she thought if nobody but her knew the exact layout of her house, that the ghosts wouldn't be able to get her.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I've seen the Winchester Mystery House. I wanna go.
It's a beautiful house. I never realized how beautiful that house is.
Mhm.
It's stunning. Like, I didn't expect it to be so beautiful. It truly is. And I'm so sad that they shut down literally the day before I got to San Jose.
That's so lame.
Yeah. And so I do actually need to make it up north eventually and go see that. But I definitely want to go there. And then when Christine and I were in Scotland last year, it's already been a year. Um, Scotland has this really weird history where it's a city on a city, and so the city underneath, um, they like walled off like a bridge, right? But all the homeless people figured out how to get in there, and so they were like living in there. And I mean, it's like pitch black. Like you couldn't even like if your fingers were right in front of your eyes, you wouldn't be able to see. Like there's no
Oh my
cracks of
god.
light in there, but it they like opened it up and basically made it like a space to rent. And so like this coven of witches, I don't think they were actually like witchy witches, but we'll call them witches because I can't remember what they actually were. um but they had rented a space to practice their witchcraft and things like that in a small space. They had like they kept every like meeting there was a weird energy, and like something was like attacking them. So like one of them would get sick, or one of them would break something, or one of them would end up with scratches on them. So it was all this like weird, creepy. And so one day they decided to trap whatever the spirit was in a stone circle. And so when we were doing this tour, with the guide with her flashlight on was like, you guys can step through the stone circle if you want, or step in it. And it was funny because it was like, I would say we were pretty much like half guys, half girls. And none of the guys stepped in it, which I thought was hilarious because normally guys are like, this is a bunch of baloney. And
Yeah,
then they,
is it real?
yeah. And then one guy like hopped in and hopped out real fast. Like he barely touched the floor before he was out of that circle. And then another guy did the same thing, but it was so weird because like the energy in that room, I was like, because normally I wouldn't care, but also like it felt like so wrong to go through the stone circle. So it's weird that line of like, yeah, right, this isn't real to, I'm not going to chance it
Yeah,
is,
I don't wanna chance it. Yeah, that's how I felt in the room with the box. I was like,
yeah,
the energy in this room is just, like, terrifying. And
yeah,
I okay, even, like, spooky stuff like that, I don't really get scared. I mean, I haven't experienced a whole lot of supernatural things. Um, I did think I saw ghosts when I was younger, but I don't know. Um, but I'm just like, this room just feels off. Like, I don't
yeah.
like the way I feel in this room, and it's like,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna take any risks here. We're not doing that. Um, but I also love, like, spooky, like, haunted locations. That's why I bought that atlas.
Mhm,
Um,
absolutely.
I love me a good haunted hotel. I love me a good, like, actual haunted house, especially so, like, this girl in front of us was saying that to go to, like, colonial places, and you'll get real
Oh,
crazy haunted
yeah.
houses, and I was like, "Oh, yeah. I wanna, like, just go on, like, a road trip up the East Coast to all of those, like,
Mhm.
old buildings, because you know those places are haunted."
Oh, for sure, and then all of the atrocities that the
Mhm.
English people who've traveled to America in those times committed? Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm like, "Yeah, oh, yeah, I absolutely wanna do that," just because, like, I love and it's like, it's like history and
Yeah.
supernatural stuff, like, I love,
Mhm.
like, century-old houses or, like, the turn of the century, ooh, that's my jam.
Yeah.
Um, because it's so interesting, and it's so cool how they can, like, keep everything preserved like that. That I think is the coolest part, is the fact that, like, everything there was so well preserved.
Mhm.
And, like, because some of this stuff is super, super, super old, and some of it's, even from, like, the '70s,
Yeah.
like but, it's very well preserved, which is just crazy because it's so old and you're like, how do you just I can't even keep my desk clean for 5 minutes, let alone like
Yeah, same. All
let
my
alone
stuff
keep
looks
something preserved.
ancient. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that just adds to the authenticity of a lot of stuff too, because like if you go into a museum and everything's like really old and decrepit looking and like falling apart, you're just like, yeah, whatever. But then you see these other objects that are like haunted and they look absolutely like they look old, but they're also pristine at the same
Mhm.
time. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, that's weird. Like it gives like a weird vibe that you just instinctually know that something's not right. Like there's
Yeah.
something else at play.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention this. So there is one jump scare in the
Oh my
museum.
gosh.
So you go into this like hall of like taxidermy, like crazy shit, right?
Mhm.
And you like look at all these things and there's a shelf with these two taxidermied turkeys. And
Mhm.
me and Jamie were standing like right next to them. It's like at the
Of
end of the
course.
hallway. And the lady goes, yeah, I wanted to turn our attention to these turkeys, and the wall just like opens up
Oh my
into like a
gosh.
secret location. And I was like, wow, that was scary. Why did you do that to me? I'm already terrified. But at the end of the tour,
Mhm.
they have a crystal like chair
Oh.
that you can sit on and like cleanse yourself from like all the negative energy and
Oh.
stuff. So I
Interesting.
definitely sat in it. I was like, I'm not, as much as I would like to bring something home, that is not the souvenir I really want.
Yeah.
Um Especially if it's gonna be mean to me, like, maybe Lily because she was
Exactly.
kinda cute, but if it's gonna be mean to me, like, I don't want it, so I sat in the chair, but I got a free T-shirt, so it all worked out.
Oh, nice. I wonder, like, if the employees like get to sit in that chair, or if they have an employee chair that they get to sit in.
Yeah, an employee crystal chair.
Yeah, just like here, the
Yeah,
break room, whenever you need it.
yeah, yeah, whenever you need to, go. Yeah, it's crazy. I love Zak Bagans, but yeah, it's definitely one of the craziest things. Also, I didn't mention, but if you don't know, it's in Las Vegas. So if you're ever in Vegas and you're like, man, I want to do something crazy, go to the museum.
Yeah. Now, was there anything like cryptid related in this museum?
Not really. They didn't really have
Okay.
a lot of like crypt. They didn't. I don't even think they had any cryptid stuff.
Okay. So
Um,
definitely, truly like true crime, paranormal
yeah, true
esque.
crime, paranormal stuff. They did have a prop room, which was pretty cool. Like actual props from like actual movies. That
Oh.
was the only thing that was kind of like not supernatural or paranormal or true crime.
Hmm.
It was like a long par with the dead celebrities hallway. Um, but yeah, nothing cryptid. It was all like all of the stuff that is in that museum, like was given to Zach Bagans or like he bought it from auction. So like it's all like actual like stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah, the dead celebrity thing is always very interesting because it's a lot of times it tends to be celebrities that like we are aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And like it always boggles my mind when stuff like that shows up. Like Marilyn anything Marilyn Monroe's stuff, I'm just like, wow. Or like I saw somebody on TikTok had just bought Amy Winehouse's eyeliner, like the
Oh,
eyeliner
whoa.
she had in her purse, and like she already had like her lipstick and like all these other makeup items, and I'm like, that's crazy that you were literally holding in your hand something that a famous, not only just a famous celebrity used, but also like somebody who's passed.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's so intriguing.
they had like Paul Walker's, I think his sunglasses there.
Oh.
They had a suit that Robin Williams wore in one of his
Oh,
movies. Uh, they had, I don't know if you've ever seen The Crow,
I have
the
not,
movie
but
The
I've heard of
Crow.
it.
Yeah, so I have never seen that movie. Um, but I guess the guy, I don't remember what his name is, the guy who was in it died
Mhm.
on set due to like a
Oh.
I think it was like a prop gun went off and he got like hit by shrapnel.
Oh, yeah.
But they had like the suit that he was wearing
Oh my
when he got hit
gosh.
with the shrapnel, which was like part of the costume. And oh, it's Brandon Lee, that's his name. Um Part of the costume, and you can see like the burn marks from like the shrapnel in it.
Oh.
Yeah, so like that room was pretty cool because you get to see like stuff that you're like, wow, this is like the Michael Jackson chair when you like can because you can see like the makeup stains in it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's crazy because when you like I'm sure MJ wasn't like, thinking about it because I have makeup stains on, my stuff.
Yeah.
But then when he dies and they have this preserved, it's like that's crazy. Like that
Yeah.
the
That's
makeup
his
stains are
makeup
crazy
there.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth it. I if you are gonna go, I do highly recommend getting the VIP package because it is definitely worth it to go into those additional rooms. Um, because they're pretty cool. Um, and then you get
How
a free
much is the
T-shirt. So
VIP package? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it just depends on when you go.
Oh,
I'd
like
have to ask
varies day by
Jamie.
day.
I think so. Um, but you
Because,
get a
yeah, if
free
it's not that
T-shirt.
much more, then why not?
Yeah, I don't think it's too much more. Um, and you get like a lanyard and a free T-shirt, which like a free T-shirt count me in.
Absolutely. Sign me up. Except maybe don't sign me up for this one.
I'll pass on that one, but I'll take the free
Yeah.
shirt.
So I have my anti possession tattoo now, and I have a demon knife tattooed on my finger. So I'd be
So you're
okay.
good.
Like,
Yeah, you're good.
nothing could get me. It's fine. But mentally, I might not be okay.
Yeah. Um, Sadly, there was no Zak Bagans there.
Lame.
I know. I
You missed your
know. It's
date.
so
How rude.
awful. I know. That's okay. He did come to. Okay, so the RIP All Access is about $30 more,
Oh, okay.
so it's not too bad.
No.
It's definitely worth it. Because you get the lanyard and the T-shirt, and then the basement, and you get to go to every room.
That, and then I
Um,
imagine it's kind of one of those things that you do probably once, maybe twice if like somebody was like coming to visit and you're like, let's go. But
mhm.
it's not like it's not like going to like the Natural History Museum where they change exhibits,
Yeah.
every
Mhm.
6 months or whatever. So you might as well just get the VIP
Yeah, you might
package.
as well, and then you get to see everything in there. And it's so fun. And then you get to look at general mission and be like, haha, I'm VIP. Losers.
As you crawl
uh
through a
as like
very
as
small
I'm on my hands and
tunnel.
knees. But yeah, I just blabbed for an hour about
Hmm.
this. But you can also like if you don't want to go to the museum, they have 2 seasons. I'm like promoting it, like I'm like paid to do it. Zach,
Yeah,
if you
feel
want to pay
free,
me,
Haunted Museum and Zach Bagans, feel free to sponsor the podcast. Or like send us some free tickets so that you can torture me while
yeah.
Kacie laughs at me for being scared. Also,
But
send 3 tickets because we'll take other Jamie with us too.
yeah, other Jamie will definitely go again.
Absolutely.
Um, but yeah, but if you don't want to go, they do have 2 seasons on HBO Max or Max or whatever. And each episode's just like a different part of the haunted museum. So
Oh,
you
that's
can always
cool.
just do that. Yeah, you can always do that. Um, Which I didn't realize they had the show, because I know like Zach Bagans has Ghost Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Bagans he does it all, man. Zach, if you're
Yeah.
listening, I love you, and please
The
come back to
proposal
Kingman.
stands.
Yeah, so I can meet you. um, but yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I've been gabbing on for an hour. Did you have anything else to add?
I don't think so. You answered all of my questions, so
I just talk away.
yeah.
Um, yeah, 10 out of 10. I recommend. That's what I'm ending that as.
Yeah, so if you're looking for something that's spooky all year round, I mean, you're in Vegas, so you can do a bunch of other things while you're in Vegas too.
Yeah, it's right downtown. It's like right near like Fremont Street ish, kind of. It's closer to the art district, but there's a tons to do. So it's like an all in one. Zach Bagans. Woo!
Woo! Alrighty, so that concludes it for this episode. So obviously you've made it this far. Follow us wherever you're listening to us. Follow all the socials so you can keep up to date with what we're doing. And I believe that's it. So we will see you guys in the next episode. So bye.
Bye!